Susan Whelan is the first to acknowledge that as a child in Dublin in the 1960s, she would have laughed if anyone had suggested she would one day find herself running a world-famous English football club. Hockey, tennis and sailing were her sports, and the family were enthusiastic followers of the oval rather than the round ball. As her family had a local jeweller's, she did have a background in the retail trade, so she might have been slightly less surprised if the same fortune teller had told her she would eventually be responsible for an international duty-free retail business in Thailand. It is Susan's exceptional achievement that both these things have come to pass, and that she continues to operate in both fields with great success and at the same time. Susan credits her parents with instilling integrity, a work ethic and a zest for life in her, attributes which have been apparent throughout her career. They also taught her the fundamentals of business and encouraged her to spread her wings, almost literally, away from the family firm. The Irish have a strong claim to have invented the modern concept of duty-free shopping, and for Susan the first critical career move came when she joined Air Rianta International, an Irish airport and retail management company, as a global buyer, a post which involved extensive travelling for 14 years, including to places like Russia, China, Pakistan, the Middle East, and then Thailand. At the time, Air Rianta had a contract to operate duty-free shops in Thailand, and Susan was commissioned to open a major operation at Bangkok's World Trade Center. Here was the second turning point in Susan's career. Air Rianta pulled out of that project, and a local Thai firm, King Power, took over. The owner of King Power, Vishai Srivadinaprabha, asked her to stay on the project and work through him on it. As Senior Executive Vice President of King Power International, Susan led the commercial side of King Power's operations. In 2006, she directed the opening of 25,000 square metres of King Power-owned duty-free shops in the new Bangkok airport, followed by 12,500 square metre city centre shop. That's the equivalent of 6 football pitches in total. These two projects each received a Frontier Award, the Oscars of the travel retail business, an achievement which Susan identifies as one of the 2 outstanding achievements of her career to date. Even now, despite her other duties, she retains strategic responsibility for King Power's retail business, as well as overseeing its purchasing and merchandising operations. In 2010, Susan's story became intertwined with the story of this city and its football club, a story both of exhilarating joys and triumphs and of deep tragedy and sadness, a story which has been followed by the whole world. Vishai Srivadinaprabha bought Leicester City Football Club, and Susan joined the board in 2010, becoming chief executive in the next year. The fans may have viewed this arrangement with suspicion. Relationships with overseas owners, both here and elsewhere, have not always been happy. But the new Leicester management team completely altered that perception and has set the standard for other clubs to follow. The remarkable story of the rise of the Foxes from the Championship to the completely unforeseen conquest of the Premier League in 2015-16, its greatest achievement in its 135-year history, is well known. Susan, a woman in what is still very much a man's world and with no football experience, was central to this success, not least in her handling of the team managers and the appointment of Claudio Ranieri, whom she saw, despite some scepticism from fans and commentators alike, as having the personal characteristics as well as the experience to fulfill the board's high ambitions for the club. Susan understandably identifies this as the second of the 2 outstanding moments in her career. But as she says, it was not possible to dine out forever on one year's triumph. The strategic aim was always to build solid foundations for the long term, recognising that football is more unpredictable than most areas of business. Success on the field has therefore been supported by effective commercial management, and Susan's exceptional experience has greatly enhanced the club's financial health. There is a commitment to continuing investment in the training and other infrastructure of the club, and equally important, Susan and the owners have been determined to make the club a positive influence in the heart of the local community. This is reflected in many small acts of generosity to the fans and in major acts of charity, such as the multi-million-pound donations to child health research at this university and the local hospitals. The value of this philosophy was demonstrated in the outpouring of grief and solidarity which followed the helicopter accident last October, in which Vishai Srivardhana Prabha, also, as the Vice-Chancellor has said, one of our honorary graduates, and 4 other people were killed. Although she herself was greatly affected by the tragedy, Susan's steady, authoritative leadership in this crisis was crucial and much appreciated by all concerned. Her aim then and now is to ensure that the club and its supporters build on the sense of unity to become stronger, and in so doing, to honour their late chairman and his vision. Susan Whelan has received a number of honours and awards for her business achievements, including success in 2 categories in the Leicester Mercury Business Executive Awards, and recognition as one of Ireland's top 25 most powerful women. The honour we give her today acknowledges this, but it goes further and recognises the immense contribution she has made to the prosperity and reputation of this city, and to the sense of pride which we have in the community to which we belong. Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present Susan Valerie Whelan that you may confer upon her the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws.
President and Vice-Chancellor, Lord Lieutenant, Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, it truly is a privilege to be here today, not only to accept this very prestigious honour, but to share in this occasion with all of you. I can honestly say that standing amongst you today for my humble contribution to Leicester is one of my proudest moments. The University of Leicester School of Business, Class of 2019, congratulations to you all. You've all worked very hard to be here today, and doubtless many of you have played pretty hard too. Each of you has earned the opportunity to celebrate your achievements today, as have your families, your loved ones, and the staff of the university, all of whom will have supported you enormously through these years of enlightenment, and they will rightly be feeling very proud of your achievements today. So let's celebrate it. It's important. Enjoy the sense of achievement that comes with committing yourself to improvement, to progress, and to fulfillment. The celebrations that truly matter, the really memorable ones, are invariably a consequence of overcoming the biggest challenges. Challenges you may even have thought were beyond you. Knowing when and how to enjoy success is an important part of life. It will motivate you and others around you. Understanding when and how to celebrate success is to appreciate the dedication, the passion, and the sacrifice that goes into achieving it. In estimating the qualities of good leadership, it should never be overlooked. Be confident in your own ability and never be afraid to take a leap into the unknown. Like many of you, I'm sure, I could never have anticipated life bringing me to this great city. Growing up in Dublin, I had little or no affinity with Leicester and absolutely no knowledge about football. And yet, since arriving here 9 years ago, through both professional highlights and hardships, I've been made to feel part of this remarkable city. Whether lining the streets to celebrate winning the Premier League, hosting Europe's elite clubs in the Champions League, or uniting in grief at the tragic loss of our chairman, when Leicester is with you, all of Leicester is truly with you. I've been privileged to see so much of the world during my career, from Russia and Pakistan to China and of course to Thailand. And rarely have I seen a city so diverse in culture, yet so united in identity. Leicester welcomes you in, celebrates your differences, and in return makes you part of its family. It will be the same for many of you, I'm sure. And I'm sure also that you will take a part of Leicester with you wherever life takes you and whatever path you pursue. Cherish it. Allow its qualities of acceptance and respect to influence your own. It's a special place. You'll be grateful for the city and this university's role in your life. So what does it mean to be a graduate of the University of Leicester School of Business? Well, the university says its School of Business aims to develop leaders, innovators, and change makers. So how do the brightest talents of you in accounting, finance, management, marketing and economics set about leading, innovating and making change? Well, if I were to humbly offer you some small advice. Firstly, never be intimidated by a challenge. Embrace them, thrive on them. Speaking as someone who came to professional football from duty-free retail, you'd be surprised at the commonalities you'll find that make up good professional practice. That's not to say there's a direct correlation between the price of perfumes, watches and designer goods and a replica shirt or a Jamie Vardy, of course. But I believe when tackling challenges, it's helpful and much less daunting to begin by viewing the challenge in the context of something more familiar. So when I was offered the opportunity to take up the reins at Leicester City, I realised we would have to commercialise the non-football side to support the football side. Although I knew very little about the world of football, I compartmentalised my earlier commercial and airport experience and sought familiarity within the new challenge. I was used to building brands and putting infrastructures in place. As a club, we had to become more central and relevant to our community. We had to rebuild our brand, our reputation and our credibility with our fans. We needed to get back into the community who support us and ensure that we as a club, our staff and our players were giving back to those around us. In an airport world, driving the non-aeronautical revenue, the car parking, the landing fees, the duty-free sales, are what ensures that the prices we pay for our airline tickets remains low. Likewise, for a football club, increasing the match day and non-match day revenue is needed to keep our ticket prices as low as possible for our fans and also to help to fund the purchase and development of our players. The phrase transferable skills is one which will doubtless become familiar. And as successful academics, the basis of your studies has taught you to be disciplined, critical thinkers. Once analysed, the fundamentals of skills that at first appear specialist in nature can be turned to tasks you'd never imagined possible. It could take you to places, into fields you never thought it could. Sometimes it takes a leader to come at a problem from a different angle, an unexpected place, supported by completely different experiences, to challenge accepted thinking, to innovate and to make change. Having the discipline to break those skills down and identify the fundamentals brings me to my next thought. Care about the detail. The detail makes sense of the bigger picture. In work and in life, care about excellence and correctness in all things. The detail demonstrates your values, your principles, and your beliefs. Make time for the detail. Take pride in it. I speak from unfortunate recent circumstances when I say there are some circumstances for which there is simply no planning. Sometimes there won't be an advanced strategy, there won't be any crisis management documents to refer to, but your actions and those of the people around you come down to your intuition, to your nature. If you have consistently cared about the detail, you'll be so familiar with these concepts that your principles, your values, your beliefs will emerge naturally, and I believe they can influence and become reflections of your culture as a community and as an organisation. And finally, belief in oneself. Have confidence in your ability to roll up your sleeves and get things done, to adapt, to grasp every opportunity, and to tackle challenges head on and hope to succeed. And even if you don't succeed, then put that to one side and just keep going. Be gentle judging yourselves. Success is not always measured through the recognition of others. It's certainly very reassuring and rewarding when your efforts are noticed. You get a distinction or a 2-1 or going forward in the workplace, so well done, thank you. But it doesn't always happen. People are busy, they're caught up and wound up in their own working lives, or they sometimes will just take your efforts for granted. But if you know yourself that you did your best, or can see where you might have done it differently or better, then other people's recognition it's only a bonus. Be the person who does the right thing even when no one is looking. Today you are surrounded by your families, friends and university staff for a joyous public celebration and recognition of your hard work and your success. It's a unique moment, and if you truly believe in yourself and your abilities, and that no challenge is beyond you, you can look forward to many occasions of success and happiness in the future. If I can leave you with one last thought, perhaps from an unlikely source, David Bowie. If you feel safe in the area you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always go a little further into the water than you feel you're capable of being in. Go a little bit out of your depth. And when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting. Congratulations to you all, and thank you again for this immense honour.